What's going on, everyone? Welcome back for another traditional slip joint knife review. And as you are guessing, this comes from my buddy Bob, the Knife Junkie DeMarco. And this is the last of the traditional slip joints that he sent me. And it's been a learning curve, which I have been very grateful for. Because, again, like I said on some other videos, I knew nothing about the traditional slip joints. Not much about slip joints in general, really. So it was kind of fun to get 3 or 4 of them in from Bob, be able to kind of look them over, handle them, and then research a little bit. Because, guys, there is some research behind all of the videos. I don't claim to be an expert on any of the knives that I show, let alone slip joints. But even knives that I love and I carry and I've owned for many years, I don't claim to be an expert on those either. Okay, so there is some research, and I was thinking as I was kind of putting together my thoughts for this video that I might put together a video that kind of shows like a video of how I video. I've been meaning to do a studio tour because some people have asked about that, the new setup that I put together in the beginning of this year, December of last year for this year. So I still need to do that. I would like to get a couple of more things here behind the scenes before I do that video, but maybe kind of a behind the scenes of some of the research, how I do all the measurements and things like that, just a kind of a quick rundown for 5 to 10 minutes of here's how I do it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's interesting. Maybe it's not. So anyway, let's get on to this. This is the GEC 235220 red-tailed jigged bone. And now I know because, again, this is a learning curve. Jigged bone is this texturing. That's, you can call it akin to what we call in the more modern knife world, sculpting or jimping. I mean, we don't really talk about jimping on the scales like this. Jimping would be more something along the spine or the spine of the blade, but we call it contouring or sculpting on the blade. To traditionals, that's jigged. That's what they jigged the bone, I guess. Okay. So this is the red-tailed jigged bone. And we'll just dive into the specs. It's just over 4 3/8. I'll zoom out so we can zoom this. We can open it up. And you definitely need to use the nail nicks. Overall length. And yes, it is a fingerprint magnet because of the way you need to open it. That's just the deal. Overall is just under 8 1/4. It has 2 blades, and we'll pull the other blade out in just a moment, but it's the same exact length. So the blade lengths are 3 3/4, 3.74, and with an edge of 3.35. The blade steel is 1095 carbon. Overall thickness is 0.108. Of the blade thickness. Overall thickness is 0.677. And this weighs in at 6.2 ounces. So it's not a light knife, and it is not a small knife. Just move those things out of the way. It does come wrapped in the same wax paper as the others that I have shown. It does have what they call the half stop, which is a nice and strong half stop. And it does have this other blade shape. So we'll zoom in, and again, forgive the fingerprints. That's just the nature of how they work, right? We'll kind of smudge it up here a little bit. And yeah, nice blade. You can see my camera there behind. Nice brass liners, nickel silver bolsters. All in all, a cool knife. Now this is going to be considered, I would consider this a full-size knife. right? I would think, in my terms, that this would just be your main knife. I don't know that this would be a secondary knife. The other slip joints that Bob had sent in are much smaller and are those, quote, fifth pocket knives. Fifth pocket knives. And you would carry that in addition to probably a modern folder. Maybe you're carrying a fixed blade as a primary or secondary. If you're carrying that, then maybe this would be a tertiary type of knife if you're already carrying a fixed blade and a modern. I don't know. And you guys that can chime in and maybe Bob will join the comments. I am not sure if this would be really a secondary knife or not. Maybe it is. Maybe you have a small daily fixed blade, and then this would be your secondary. I think it's cool. It kind of reminds me of, buck 110 size from way back in my younger Boy Scout type days. I think my Boy Scout knife was a little smaller than this. I'm guessing and kind of remembering this as about the size of the buck 110. It's super comfortable in the hand. It does have a pretty strong spring, so I don't feel as though if I was using this, it would close on me. But that is always a possibility, so use your knives safely. All in all, this is a cool knife. So let's do a couple of size comparisons with our standard stuff here. The Sharpie, Spyderco, the Kubi 237, about the same length overall. The Hellraiser beats it out a little bit. And just for grins, the Midgard's Messer Bomber? Nah, not even sure. It beats it out by a tiny bit also. Again, two different worlds of knives, for sure. But just to kind of show what you're getting out of this guy. So it's been very fun, like I said, to kind of get into the traditional knives a little bit. It's kind of cool where you could have two blades. These two blades are pretty much identical in size, so they're just a different shape, which, okay, I guess well, no, I'm not giving a lie. I don't quite understand why you would need two blades of the same size, just different shapes, but that's just me. Again, why do we carry knives? Just because we like them, not because they are utilitarian, don't get me wrong, but in the modern world, we're not using these to survive in our daily concrete jungle office rat race, right? But still very cool. I do think these are absolutely well made, very cool in design, and fun. That's the beauty of the knife collecting world, is there is something for everyone. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Dave. Dave. I just did a video from my buddy Dave at This Old Sword Blade Reviews. I just filmed right before this. So thanks, Bob, the Knife Junkie, for sending this and all of the other goodies in for me to check out. I do greatly, greatly appreciate it. And thanks to all of you for watching, because if nobody watched, the 12 of you that do watch, if you 12 didn't watch, I guess I would just not do this. But thanks for watching and taking your time and commenting. I do appreciate that as well. So have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks all.